Namaskar, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you had a wonderful break because we have a really exciting afternoon planned for you. So this morning, you would have had the chance to explore and hear from different practitioners who are teaching us the secrets of longevity and well-being from within our being. So we remember Sridevi mentioned this morning that healing happens from the inside. It happens from the mind space. And so this afternoon, we have the opportunity to further explore these modalities with the practitioners. So I will hand it over to Guruji if he wants to add anything, and then we will break out into our breakout rooms. And this afternoon, instead of our normal facilitators, we will have those practitioners each in their own room where you as a group can decide how it is that you want to continue the exploration. So you may choose to discuss the theory of yoga, of qigong, or what have you, or you may choose to actually engage in the physical practice of the exercises itself. So we leave that up to you. So I'll just offer it to Guru to see if you'd like to add anything.
Yeah, thank you, Shreyaji. Namaskar, everyone. So let's allow them to populate. It's happening. Yeah, for those of you who are here, in the earlier session I said that in the consciousness space, pure consciousness, there is no disease. Does that resonate with you? Excellent, excellent. Because you can go into a space inside where there's absolutely no disease. If you can touch that, then you will know what immortal consciousness is. And when you have a master who lives there, that's the easiest way to get there. Easiest way to get there if you're receptive. So, in all of the modalities that you're going to listen to or be a part of, each one of them, it's all about coming into that state of pure consciousness, and from there, generating energies to the mind, through the heart, through the chakras, to the body, but understanding the intimate connection of consciousness and subtle energy to the body is important. Your body is, how should I say, intricately wired to your subtle body. You cannot imagine that. So much so that you begin to feel that your body, the consciousness within you of self, begins to feel it as the body because of the wiring. The nervous system penetrates through every area. All these nerves are in every part of you. And then you have the nerve plexuses around the chakra areas. And you have the brain, where the crown chakra is. So this becomes awesome, exciting, inspiring when you can come into the consciousness. And again, the Guru's presence, the Guru's instruction, the Guru's field can help you to come there more than anything else. Now, I enjoy every facet of the human experience. I enjoy a good sleep, putting the body to rest. I enjoy activity a whole lot. I enjoy breathing. Breathing for me is exciting, tremendously exciting. That I can change my consciousness through breath. That I can energize any part of me through prana and oxygen. It's awesome, but it requires first the consciousness. So when you labor, it is because you haven't gone deep enough. That you cannot yet feel the power to channel energy into every part of you. So management of the mind is important. That's why mind training is important. Learning to witness from a deeper space is extremely important. That's why I continuously teach you about that. Learning to appreciate the field and coming to the center of the field. I'm constantly trying to support you in going there. And when I'm not physically with you, it can be even better for all those of you who are virtual, because then you can get into that space with me even more. So in this afternoon, as you meet with the practitioners or therapists in the different areas, I want you to look at that core principle of centering inside, where you can already hold a awareness and idea that I'm healed. Because I'm not sick if you're inside there. I remember very well when my mother was sick, and sometimes the body would be groaning or moaning. And I said, Mom, what is happening? She said, nothing, I'm good. She wasn't in the body. She was in such a space deep inside. And the body was doing what it will do, but she was so beyond the body. Such an amazing person. To the last day, she was beyond the body. In some of the pictures you would see in the hall here, she was beyond the body. If we can only find that transcendental space, then the quantum healing becomes possible, which is the best of all the healing, through the mind. Through the mind, you can create a whole idea of wholeness and integrate that feeling through the entire body. And that's why the Wuji Gong is so important. That exercise of stillness and holding the body in the field of it. It's extremely awesome. But you could do it while sitting as well. So when you come back from these sessions, I would like to speak with you a little bit, and then I want to lead you in the meditation that can transform your whole experience of being at every level. Okay? So I'll let you go now, so we don't waste time. And just to say, tomorrow we'll be streaming the Guru Gita in the morning, and also I will only do one session tomorrow, a longer morning session. So we'll have no afternoon breakout groups and all that. So you will just me. I will be with you and those who will support me, but we'll have no breakout groups. We'll all have one session in tomorrow's session. Okay, just to let you know. But Guru Gita will be streamed tomorrow morning. And Shiva, of course, for those of you who are in my time zone or close by, Shiva will be streamed this evening as well. Just to let you know. So we continue that experience of being together. Yeah? Okay, so I'll let you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. So we have, in our breakout rooms today, we'll have Dr. Bhavani, Mara, Krishna Priya, Dr. Dayani, and Sridevi. For those of you who would like to join yoga therapy with Sridevi, please stay in the main room because she'll be doing it from the temple here, and that way you can join virtually from where you are as well. So with that, I hope you have an exciting conversation, and we will meet back here. Guru, would you like to give them 45 minutes until 3:15? Is that enough?
Yeah, let's go 45.
Okay, so then we'll come back at 3:15. Thank you, everyone. Namaskar.
Been created so you can choose your room, and remember, you can move from one room to another and settle down in the one that you want to.
For those of you in the physical space here, Mara is going to be doing hers in Lotus, right? In Kailash, sorry. And Krishna Priya is going to be in Lotus over here. So
We didn't put the practitioner name to the room. I just see 1, 2, 3, 4 in the rooms. Let's put a name of the practitioner or therapist.
Did you get that? So yoga with Sridevi will be here, and then Krishna Priya is in the room right next door on this side.
But we only have numbers here when you go and look.
I'm going to go and help. I'll go and get them sorted, Guru. And then Krishna Priya is over in Kailash on the yoga deck. Right? Mara. Thank you. My goodness. Day 6, everyone. Sridevi's here.
Okay, so namaskar everyone. Thank you for being here. And for those who are joining on Zoom as well, a warm welcome to you as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the yoga section for our afternoon conversation. And this is an invitation to please raise your hand whenever you like. You can contribute, and we'll have a really beautiful flow together. So we can start with a little bit of a centering, and then we'll have a little bit of a conversation. And however you guys want to see it unfold, whether we chat a little bit more or do some practices, share some practices, because quite a few of us are actually yoga practitioners, it's completely upon us. Okay? So let's start by closing our eyes, becoming conscious of our bodies. Meeting each other in this space again. Having a moment just to check in with ourselves. And using all of the tools that we know and that we feel to give ourselves a boost wherever may need it in this moment. For me, this is an invitation to breathe deeply, so I'm going to do that from the belly. And as we center a little bit deeper with a quiet mind, focused, energized body, we open our hearts to receive each other in this field. This is the field of sharing our experiences, our energy. And connecting each other even more, we'll do so with the sacred sound of one Om. Let's breathe out. And in. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, so welcome back into the space, everyone. We had quite an exciting morning exploring the features of the subtle energies and how they work across the different disciplines of healing. Not only did we see it for the German medicine, also for yoga, Chinese medicine, and even in the holistic way as well through Reiki and energy therapies. So I'm going to open the conversation a little bit to hear what inspired you. How did the practices feel? What would you take away from the morning as essential to your own learning of well-being? And if there is anything that you would like to explore further that we can do in the way of yoga, then we continue the conversation in that way too. So this is an invitation to all of us here and also to those joining online via Zoom. Nice to see you. You're very much a part of the group. Okay? So let's chat a little bit. What was inspiring about the morning?
Namaskar, everyone. Wow. It's a difficult question because every presentator, every bit of information was so precious and valuable, and I resonated absolutely with everything. As I was listening to all this, I was feeling so blessed to be able to be in contact with such a source of knowledge in this regard, in this yoga that we are living, to be able to have access to this kind of knowledge, and that is not only theoretically, but you can feel the energy behind. You can feel that every speaker, of course, starting with Guruji, that every speaker is living what they say. That's a tremendous blessing in this yoga that we are living. And also I was contemplating that, so many modalities, which is beautiful. It's a diverse world, and we have diverse, like in spirituality, we have diverse paths. But as it is written there, many paths, one destination. Each modality, many modalities, but one destination, and that is the well-being at all levels. And of course, the most profound level of well-being, it's the spiritual one. I remember, I think in December when I came here, Guruji telling me in the wellness, in a certain, we discussed about well-being and healing, and he said, but of course, Haridas, you know that the ultimate healing is to heal the ignorance, is the healing of the ignorance within us, that of all that we are. I said that I appreciated the diversity of modalities, and in the same time I was thinking, but can come the enthusiasm or the eagerness to do it all. Like, I want to do German new medicine, I want to do yoga, I want to do Tai Chi, I want to do Qigong, I want to do that, and I want to do that. And also some of the presentators, they have many modalities that they are doing it. But in the same time I was thinking, but you know what? You don't need all. Even if you choose one that is suitable for you, that you feel connected with, and that you feel that you are driven by the universe to embrace it, has the same principles, principles like all the other ones. The principles are the same. And also I feel very blessed to be one of the in this lifetime, to play a role of a therapist and of a yoga teacher. And I don't know how my life would be without this, because I live this every day. I work on me with Reiki. I do yoga every day. I loved what you said about yoga. Yoga is not only on the mat. And we speak also for Hatha yoga, right? You can breathe each time you need. You can bring prana, you can recharge. So I do this every day. I don't know how my life will look, and I don't even want to think without this. So it's very, very exciting, and to be with all of you, that you are living your talk and your message. It's the greatest blessing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari. And you brought up a really good point. Because even if we take one or two simple practices of yoga, and again, we use Guruji as an example because we see him doing this all the time. Even if we take one breathing exercise or one thing or one aspect of yoga that we really enjoy, and we do it while we walk, we do it before we eat, we do it exactly when we wake up, and just to change the way that we feel, it becomes really simple to take yoga into every experience of life. Yeah, go ahead.
Just to add a little sentence, of course, it's beautiful to do all of this. It's wow, enriching. But I remember Bruce Lee's sentence, which says, instead of doing 10,000 moves one time, do one move 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, what did inspire in any of us? Brahmi, you can also share as a yoga teacher as well. It'd be nice to hear from you. And it's always a really nice thing to explore how we do this practically. What actually makes sense for our life? Does it make sense to get up and do breathing exercises? Does it make sense to calm the body down with breathing or some asanas before we sleep? How does yoga actually work itself into everyday life that makes sense for our lives and our purpose? Something to think about as well. Anybody can share. Yeah, Veer? Yeah.
When I started with this way of living, I started from the body. The body was having its issues and the mind was having its issues. And I didn't know anything but some Western things, and then you get into this play, and the first thing, and then that is part of this conference, is you get a view over, let's say, the possibilities. The body is changing. The body has needs for certain times, and they differ also because my consciousness is different, is changing. So I noticed that some things stay the same. You can use them always, but some things have to be adjusted to that specific moment. For instance, now my body is more challenging, so I have to do more things specific for the breathing and the relaxation and a yoga that is suited for where I am now. So I find it very nice to see that when you get, let's say, the whole menu with all kinds of different flavors, I use some of the German new medicine. The yoga is the red line, I think. Sometimes Reiki or massages from the Ayurvedic side. So first I was a bit puzzled about that, but because I was used to choose this one or something like that, and but you don't have to. But the more knowledge you have on how you can improve food, how can you improve rest, how can you improve movement, how can you get into the field, which is the most definite, let's say, restriction for all. If you don't get there, the rest will be more challenging. That makes me very happy to see that that the menu is complete and nice and gives you a view on health, health span, and that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So it's inspiring in that, and I do not choose anything of everything, and that's impossible for me. If I would ask for your field, you can study several years on your field. So, what do I take for that from that? So I find it very beautiful and inspired to be here and to go home with. Well, I only need time to work it out to my personal, let's say, ambition and daily integration. So I like that very much by being here. Thank you very much, and all of the members of the panel.
Yeah, thank you, Veer. And I think what's really beautiful about that is that's really the path of the Kundalini Maha Yoga with Guruji, Maha Yoga, bringing the best and the deepest practices from across all of the disciplines into really the cream of how we can go deeper inside, and especially when it comes to the physical body. Yeah. And Hubert?
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
yoga. I think yoga is getting yourself in contact with your body, mind, and spirit. I think it's something that is very healthy for when it's at an age. And I think the physical part of it is very important, so it can strengthen your body, strengthen your mind, strengthen your psyche. And as Guru said this morning, there are a part in you that is untouched by any sickness. And we have to discover that. We have to tap into that source where there is no sickness in the body, or in the mind, or in the spirituality, or whatsoever it is. And I think to get yourself involved in yoga, it will have you feel much younger, more energized. It will have you to free your consciousness of any past lives or sickness, or because there are things that follow you from birth, from your past lives. And I think it's important to stick with yoga to free yourself from the pangs of life.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
I
very
just
much.
want to say, you can keep the microphone, Hubert, before we go to Haridas. Hubert has been faithfully practicing yoga for a very, very long time. I remember classes where Hubert was standing on his head, doing headstand, just so easily like that. Yeah, quite amazing. Very strong physical body, but also mentally. And Hubert, what I want to ask you is that now at this stage in your life, where yes, the body has become a little bit older, and you've worked through quite heavy health challenges, have you used yoga to help you get through some of those ailments in the body?
Well, I want to believe it have a part to play in my growth, my physical and spiritual growth. The yoga, the exercise, when you exercise in the physical part of yoga, when you get yourself involved in it, you start to feel a bit light. You start to feel a bit free.
Yeah.
And I think it has helped me, the physical part of it have helped me grow a lot. And I lately, when I've been afflicted, and I want to get myself involved in a more physical yoga.
Yeah, that's an amazing wish. And when you align yourself in the way that you have been, of course it's going to become a reality. That's what the Guru is teaching us, right? That there's no limitation when it comes to the body, in a sense, from the quantum and the consciousness space. We work in a field without limitations. That's beautiful, Hubert. Yeah.
So much, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Harry? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Harry. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also excited because the greatest excitement is that I am on the path of Mahayoga, having a Shaktipat Guru.
Yeah.
And this is really the essence of all the healing principles that we can bring, because you are working with the base energy of the universe, which is Kundalini Shakti, which is the mother of all healing modalities, which is the source of all knowledge. And when you have this and you can access, the more you can access her inside of you, I will dare to say, without lack of modesty, that will bring to you all the necessary things that you need to know for your own well-being without even going through all the courses and all the
Yeah.
healing modalities, because she is the mother of all healing. And wow, this is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. That's really exciting. And that opens a question that I would like to also extend to the group online as well. And that Shaktipat impulse that we have with the master or a true guru or the true teacher, how did that change our relationship with how we treat the body? Did that shift something in our practice? And did that pave the way for how we practice with ourselves today? And again, I see quite a few yoga practitioners in our group. And it doesn't matter even if it is yoga or if it isn't. How did your relationship with your body or your practice shift after that impulse with the group? And again, with the guru. And anyone can answer this, right? Even Hridaya, Veer. Anyone can speak to this. Yeah, you can take the microphone. We have Hubert.
I think the guru is a great example for us, where he practiced yoga and he shows us the benefit of yoga and the link between the spiritual self and the physical self.
Yeah.
And what it does to your body, and make you feel healthy and wise. I think the practical side of yoga is very important for everyone who's following spirituality.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Brahmi, she raised her hand. Nice to have you. Nice to hear from you. You've been practicing yoga for
Namaskar.
many years. Yeah, Brahmi, go ahead.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with all that you guys have been discussing so far, that yoga is a much more than physical and more than the body. Like you said today, that it's a whole approach to everything, and so it's a lot more than just the body. And I think what stood out for me today is when Guruji said, from a spiritual point of view, you can reprogram your DNA or your consciousness,
Yeah.
and that's by using. And he talked a lot about using the mind, the manas, to do that, and then we know that the heart is also a very healing tool, right, or way to go. So then that whole heart and mind combination that works to help to help us in the yoga as well. So having a passion or a love for the body or for health, really drives that, and and like we heard today, the heart is is merry heart, do it like medicine. So yeah, that's what would drive one to do yoga in a way that it uses all its facets to bring health at all levels, and keep a healthy mind as we reprogram consciously, or keep a conscious practice of at all times. So that's just what I wanted to say. How we could consciously reprogram for a healthy
And
mind, body.
do you see that happening for you in your practice, especially?
Yeah, I see how. I know this was one thing that I picked up from Guruji. You asked about what difference it made having a Guruji in our lives. And that is how we can drive the body from the energy and not the body is not doing the movements, but the energy is allowing the body to move. And that's what I find how much easier when we're at the ashram and you're doing yoga, the body can go in much more postures than it would normally go when we're at home or when the place is, So, yes, being in that energized space helps to move the body with the energy rather than just physical movements. Yeah.
This actually opens a really important question. Brahmi, you brought up a really nice point that here in this conducive space, which is so full of that divine energy, it allows us to practice differently here. Yes, because the space is saturated with that. We're more aware of what we're doing, we're more conscious of it. But what happens when we need to also cultivate that outside of here, when we're home, when we're in our own spaces? Well, what do we do to make that divine connection even before we practice? And this is a practical question, right? It makes us think a little bit more. What are the practical steps that we take to open ourselves to that connection before we even get into the practice? Is that something that we actually do? Or is it something that we have to cultivate? Vaish, I see you smiling. You can always share as well. It'd be so nice to hear from you. Yeah, there we go.
I couldn't unmute myself, but namaskar,
Namaskar.
everyone.
Nice to see you.
I knew you would pick me, but I had to smile because, of course, that's for me. It's the biggest challenge, right? To come back from the ashram and still trying to, basically hold on to everything you gain from your experiences at the ashram, because there I can feel a lift, and then what I try to do is, you have all these tools you can use. For example, listening to the Guru, listening to Guru Gita, trying to meditate, but also, for example, when I'm at work, I always try to keep it in the back of my mind, like all the time, like serving, let the divine flow in and through me, and in every interaction, I always try to see what is it teaching me. So I think it's that awareness, like nothing is a coincidence, for example, but still you struggle sometimes, and I think like retreats like these bring you back into that space of where you want to be and make you stronger. But I think over the years, the falling in and out becomes a little less. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask you as well, because your journey with your relationship to the body has been really interesting. And how are you able to come back into that softness with the body, even though it works hard and the body is fit and it's healthy? How are you able to maintain that, just as Brahmi said, that subtle compassion towards the body? How are you able to do that?
I think by more consciously building a more loving relationship and being very aware of not going into extremities. And that's what Guru told me not to do. So I try to be very aware when I'm pushing too hard, or of course doing too less. And when I feel the tendency, because of course that's still within me, like pushing and wanting to get the best out of me and the body, of course. But I don't want it to be like in a very tensed way or in a result-driven way. And I want to enjoy it, actually. I think that makes all the difference. Like bringing more joy and more love in the activity.
Yeah, that's really beautiful,
Does
Vaish.
that answer your question?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, does anyone have any questions for Vaish, or do you want to comment on what she so lovingly shared? What that brings up is a really clear instruction that Guru gave quite a few times in the healing meditations, or when he was trying to show us the practices. And it was to be cautious of doing and acting with too much might. So the way that we overdrive in our practices with the body, that we're pushing too much of ourselves into the actual practice. So finding that balance where we invite the energy and we flow and move with the energy versus us forcing it into our space. So Vaish, thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's what it brought into the space as well. Yeah. But I love the fact that you touched on the compassion towards the body, the softness that is sometimes really needed in our practice, and of course the way that you prepare yourself even before you get into the practice. So calling on that energy space of the masters, listening to the Guru Gita or something inspiring to really hold us into the space even before we come into a practice with the physical body. Yeah, Haridas?
Yeah, exactly. And that brings me to a few, yesterday or the day before, no, the day before, I think, we spoke about the creating centers of light. And if you can do your home, or at least one room, the one that you are sleeping in, as a sacred space that is full of Shakti, full of this kind of energy, like in the ashram, then automatically that will remind you immediately about from the beginning that you wake up, from the beginning that you start your day. So it makes me to think about us creating sacred spaces, right in our homes. Yeah. And of course, ultimately, my body should be the sacred space where all the chakras are fired up. But before I reach there, I start with the outer space that I live in to remind me constantly to have that kind of strong energy. I remember one time I was complaining to Guruji a few years ago. Oh, Guruji, I had this problem, and now I feel worried and everything. And I didn't expect for him to hit one point, and he said, you need to create more, to have Guru's energy more strong in your home, because no matter what the problems will appear in the outside world, when you come home, the Guru's energy should be so strong in your home that you immediately connect in a deeper way to overcome everything. Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's a beautiful point as well, because even Guruji mentioned, I think it was today, about the high levels of toxicity in our environment, in the yoga itself. Many, toxic factors are hitting us all the time. So I love this idea that where the body physically goes to rest, it becomes a place for us of light. When we go to sleep, the body goes to sleep in one way. When we wake up, the body wakes up in a certain way. And I love that for also enhancing the practice as well. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
Just a short one.
Yeah, sure.
What I did practically at home, I recorded Guruji's Om Trayambakam at the end of a healing circle,
Right.
which is very charged with healing power, and I when I leave home, I leave from home, right? I let it play softly on my bed. So each time I come to sleep in that bed, it's just like I'm in the healing circle. Like all that energy is coming into me, and it just immediately connects me with that space. So I do all these kind of practical things. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any practical tips for how you set your environment so that your physical body feels different? It's a really good point, Haridas. It's so important when we really need to work with the body, and especially for practitioners or teachers or people who are really engaged in physical practices, that we try to keep all the spaces where the body really exists in a way that also feeds the body back, even unconsciously or subconsciously as well. Yeah, so I love that point, Haridas. Yeah. And again, if it resonates with anyone, you can share what you do in your own homes, even to prepare yourself for the practices as well. Yeah. Martijn, what about you? It'd be nice to hear from you again. You are a yoga teacher, and you've taken all of these practices back to your home with you as well. How has that been? I think we lost him. That's okay. When he joins us again, he will be able to share. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Before we continue and perhaps get into even some of the physical exercises, if you're interested, does anyone have any questions about yoga, yoga therapy? We have quite a few teachers in our space that can also answer. Any questions? No? Okay. So in terms of the practices, knowing all that we practice here in this space, again, we have yoga pretty much every morning, qigong, all the physical exercises to really start our mornings. And it's become a really staple part of our discipline here at the ashram. And of course, the shining example of the guru, who is constantly practicing. Sometimes you see him on the balcony, he's doing his qigong, he does his yoga, and we see the benefits of all of these practices. So in terms of exploring together today, and of course, one of the staples and the foundations of yoga is understanding first the breath. So really charging up, breathing properly, feeling how the breath is, understanding where to breathe from, even before getting into any of the asanas today. So is that something that you guys would like to explore? Maybe some of the foundations of the breathing before we do a little bit of movement? Yeah? Okay, I see lots of thumbs up. Thank you, Chantal. Okay. So let's start with the foundations of breathing. And I would like to ask our yoga teachers as well that it would be really nice if you guys could share one essential practice, Brahmi, even Haridas as well, that the group can use in their everyday life. Okay? So just think about it, and then you can instruct it also. I think that would be a really nice treat for the group here, the virtual group, and of course everyone who's also watching on Facebook and YouTube as well. Yeah, Brahmi, go ahead.
Yeah, just one thing I'd like to say to the different modalities is that Guruji would always look for the commonalities of all of these. Like he looks for he makes the parallel and he takes the best from each one.
Yeah.
So, you know, like even for good digestion, he will take each, you look for something that's happening in each and shows you the parallel. Like even the rhythms, you know, he looks at the rhythms across the board, you know, the chi and the hara, all that. He's always looking for the parallels in all the modalities that's healing. So that's one way to stay open to all the practices and not necessarily choose or narrow to one.
Yeah.
And in terms of a practice that I do every morning, it will be the Surya Namaskar, because
Yeah.
that is a series of 12 movements that moves you inverted, extended, twisting back, up and down. It moves probably every part of your body in those 12 movements. And then
Yeah.
I add
The
the
twist
twist to
at the
it. So
end.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really
So
beautiful, Brahmi.
that is a real complete, if
Yeah.
it's done properly with the breath, the
Yeah.
inhales and the exhales. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And also, just to say that Brahmi is also studying Ayurveda. So she'll have some deep insights for us that she can add to the wellness space here at the ashram as well. So excited to hear for you to add that to the modalities, Brahmi, but a really great point about finding that common ground in each of these modalities. And again, that comes back to the point of the beauty of Mahayoga, the Kundalini Mahayoga with Guruji. Okay? So let's get into a little bit of the breathing exercises. And then maybe, Brahmi, you can walk us through a little bit of the Surya Namaskar seated, if you can. Would be really awesome. Okay, sorry, we have 2 minutes. I have, the conversation was so rich, and we'll just do one breathing exercise then, just for the gut and to wake us up before we end. Okay, sorry, that's what happens when the conversation is just too good. Thank you so much, everyone, for your insights, okay? So we can start by sitting up nice and tall, and I think this can also prepare us very well for the healing meditation with Guruji, okay? We'll start with the lower abdominal area, just as a foundation for taking the breath even higher. So I'm going to take my thumb, place it on my belly button, and just place the remaining fingers below. And the concentration of the breath is just going to be from above the point of the genitals and below the belly button. So really storing our energy into this point, feeling that the lower chakras become heated, engaged as well, and using this as a way to store the energy and to feed the rest of the body and the energies as well. So we can close our eyes, connect with this space. We'll start by exhaling into this area alone. You can exhale through the mouth or even through the nostrils. And as we inhale, just breathing from this lower area, hold for a few seconds. Again, cultivating the energy as we hold. Exhale. Really squeeze the air out. Hold again. Breathing in. Hold. Out. Hold. We're going to do this 3 more times. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. Last time, in. Hold. And out. And hold. Relax the abdomen. Relax the hands. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much, everyone, for an enriching conversation about yoga and all the techniques. And now I invite everyone to join in with the healing meditation as a gift to all of us with the Guru. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaskar.
Namaskar, everyone. So welcome back. And I hope that you had interesting conversations, uplifting conversations, energized conversations. And if there's anything you want to share with me, not necessarily ask, but you can ask if you wish as well. If there's anything that you want to share with me, please do. I'm very curious to know how it went with the group, and how much you've learned, or how much you've become inspired by all the conversations you've been in with respect to this subject. Yeah? So please share. You can share from the whole. Like I said, well-being is important for all of us, and because it's going to affect our journey. And just to say, when you come with me, you're going to end up in a Kriya journey, definitely. Some may be very pleasant Kriyas, where you feel that you have been instructed, and when you practice these Kriyas, you feel clearer, you feel more uplifted, you feel your consciousness shifting. And for some of you who have emotional issues, mental issues, the Kriyas can become a little more difficult. And those of you who have poor nervous systems, and Kriya is going to be quite strong. So it is imperative when you're on a journey of Kundalini or Kriyas, you have to be at least physically healthy. So maintaining a strong body, especially nervous system and brain, is extremely important in the Kriya journey. Because when Kundalini begins to move, she's going to move. And she's no respecter. Unless you invite her into a healing mode, she wouldn't come into that. Her concern is expanding the field. But when you co-create with her, healing is beautiful. So it is you who have to invite her into your process. Otherwise, she's just going to come and clear, because for her there is no death. There is no disease. So it is you who have to cry out to her and and say, no, please help me here, please help me here, please help me here. Or seek the Guru's support. Because I see how many of you, through your prayer and you're thinking that you want to become enlightened, the crown begins to open, nervous system is weak, you get a lot of headaches, you get a lot of intolerance, annoying consciousness, you want to destroy things, you want to destroy yourself, you want to hit your head to the wall. So you don't want to do that. So please strengthen the body, strengthen the nervous system if you want the journey of enlightenment in the older bodies. In young bodies, no issue. But in older bodies, you have to be very careful. And by that older, I mean 40 and over. Some of us keep our bodies good, so we are even in the 40s and 50s and 60s, we are still good. But generally, after 40, we could have challenges. Yeah, so let's create a conversation. I see Dr. Jenny Rouse with her hands up, so yeah, please. Namaskar to you. We need you to unmute.
Oh, I am. Right. Are you hearing me now?
Perfect.
I am unmuted here. Good.
Yeah.
Namaskar, everyone. Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar
What
to
a
you.
wonderful, wonderful morning. I mean, you don't judge like in any hierarchy which speaker was. Every component was vital. And I could have heard the excitement in Dr. Dayani's voice. But I have a little question, but I have to preface it with just a short break. When I took on the mantle in 2022 to be my best version, typical of an Aryan, baby of the planets, you know, you're just going into this world of wonderment and excitement. But then when I started getting into it, I had no choice but to smile at a WhatsApp message that I got saying the distance between your dream and your reality is discipline.
Yeah.
And that discipline has 3 eyes in it. That wasn't by accident. But because you had already mentioned much earlier and more than once that we are not to see discipline as control, but for one's protection. It lessens the amount of kind of, oh my God, you know, like you want to be hard on yourself. No, it's not about that. What is also interesting, which came out of the discussion, I couldn't participate because I was on the road, I was listening. And it is this discipline with flow. Flow has to be there. Flow is an intrinsic part. And that's why I liked what Anna Priya said in the panel. When she said it's at all levels, your social milieu, your diet, your exercise, what you engage, and more especially your witnessing. Your witnessing has to be so keen on what you take in at every level, in every engagement. And when I did that assessment, which is alternative medicine, it was how they do like biometrics and all these things, through your blood, your gallbladder, your whole works. And I did a kind of hydrocleanse colonoscopy, not the whole colonoscopy, a hydrocleanse on the colon. Apparently what was done at the start, like a pre-test, post-test, they get a gauge of every part of your physical being and how it impacts emotion. And I should have done it annually, like an assessment. How am I going? How do I look? So I did that second assessment this year. So I missed 2023. And what was interesting that he mentioned, he said, oh, something is happening here, because when I did your assessment, when you just came to start the regimen, it showed that where you were, your age was chronological at the time. Your physicality and all that went with it was aging 5 years ahead of where you should be. And what he noticed when he did the same assessment last year was that this year, sorry, was that my body was aging 3 years ahead, which means that in pulling all of what I was doing together in the discipline, I slowed down the rate at which I was aging, unbeknownst to me. But this is the reading that he got. And then, out of his own concern, he was just like, well, what is it you're doing? So I told him it's almost like a compendium of things that I'm doing simultaneously. But what is good about adopting this as a template and a mandate that I want to be my best version? It wasn't earmarking, well, I want to lose weight, or I want to be more beautiful, or any of those peripheral things. It was solely on, I want to be my best version at every possible level that I am conscious of. And in doing so, in having that focal point, what I recognized along this 2-year journey was that Kundalini, I spoke to some of the things that I went through with her in her sculpting. She actually sculpts you in whatever direction she wants. If it is your phenotype is not where it should have been, she's going to take off the excess. So in the process of focusing on the journey, these are the benefits that come on the journey. But it is not one of pain. Pain sometimes when I had it in the ear and I asked you, and you know that she's also telling you, don't go to any doctor. You're hearing that sort of behind in the witnessing, that this is not something that is just physical, but she's cleaning and that's when you told me the ear affects the throat and balance. And so it is very, very discerning that one has to become very, very discerning regarding what is really for an Aleve, an Advil tablet, or work through the pain with her. Because it is not excruciating to the point where you feel you need surgery or anything like that. It's a different kind of pain, and it is maybe piercing. Like if your deportment, you're slouching or something, you will get a pain sometimes in the lower back and so on. You may be thinking, well, something is wrong. No, you just have to pay attention to what you are doing with the body and everything. So my question is, how do you relate now? Because I used to say it in some of my presentation to elders in the group, that aging is at a cellular level and it is involuntary. Nothing you could do or drink or any elixir is going to stop that process. However, we have control over how we grow old. This is something I was touting for
But
years.
you know about psychological aging, chronological age, and biological age, right?
Precisely, which is the nexus of gerontology. And we deal with it at biological, psychological, and social. Because you must have some kind of engagement and interaction in it and how you perceive. That's where your test of discerning intuitively who you allow into your space, what are the things you respond to and just leave alone, and who you embrace and who you don't. It becomes very, very fine-tuned at that point. So my question is, there's some correlation really, which I didn't know. Scientifically, listening to Dr. Dayani and Bhavani and all the other speakers, and you pull it all together, there is a way of slowing down the rate at which you are aging this physicality. If you have positive thinking, positive thoughts, I could look at what is happening at the political level and be very detached from it, not taking any side or any position, just looking at the play at that level. But once you get too engrossed and involved and take it in at a cellular level, the cells pick it up and they begin to respond in all manner of ways. And you remember your point, Guruji, every thought is energy. I remember you saying that.
But,
so we have to
but I want to speak here to the spirituality, which is the most powerful force in everything, right?
Precisely.
Now, when the spiritual consciousness is not high, when we operate in a lower consciousness, we are so much more caught in the body, in the mind, in the habit patterns that are not good for us. But if you were to heighten the spirituality, just like Christ saying, seek ye first the kingdom, right? And all these things will be added unto you, even the health.
Correct.
So he said, if you have a little faith as a mustard seed, you tell the mountain to move and it will move, right? When someone says, Master, you healed me, he said, no, your faith healed you. So he gave us the idea of faith.
Right.
And for me, when you begin to open up the consciousness, when you begin to seek to become more spiritual, you're engaging Kundalini, or you're invoking Kundalini, because she's the evolutionary energy, right? So once you create a desire to know more and to grow spiritually, she's going to be activated, either through your past life activation already there, or she will push you to find the guru. And if you begin to develop with the Kundalini, you begin to create the mindset of total well-being.
Right.
Then as she wakes up, she will also guide you in a total well-being. But if you don't have that mindset and you just thinking that I need to be enlightened and I need to get into the mind and I need to come into this place of silence because all the Zen people are doing that, or then you neglect your body. Then when Kundalini is coming up, she's going to come up straight to the mind. If the mind is not ready, she's going to create havoc in the mind. And if your body is poorly taken care of, there'll be a lot of havoc in the body. So that's why in the yoga tradition, we have Hatha Yoga, we have Bhakti Yoga, we have Mantra Yoga, we have Kundalini Yoga, we have Raj Yoga, we have Gyan Yoga. So you have a yoga for everything. So when you're into Maha Yoga, then you can be all round. Right? All the yogas come alive. But you have to take an interest. So when you come to your heart, you need to say, I want to love God more. I really want to love God more. When you come to your navel and you begin to feel that firepower, I want to be in activity. And I want to make my activity spiritual. I want total well-being. I want to shine through my body. I want to live long in serving and the divine, or knowing the divine. So when you begin to create those desires, Kundalini comes along with you, and she begins to guide you along those channels. But your desire is important. How you play the ego is important. You have to desire total well-being. So that's one of the things in the Blue Star I try to get to you all the time. Focus on total well-being, total well-being, total well-being. Yeah, use the gut, use the all of the faculties that you have. Find spirituality in them. Spiritualize every aspect of your life. This is going to become important, because the place you lack could be the very place the kriyas will come and they will be painful.
Correct.
Painful
And
emotion or
what
painful.
I've come to notice too, instead of trying to fight this belief that how am I going to burn off or right my karmas, your sadhana is the play in which she sends things in your play on your stage, because your desire again is to burn off some of the karmic patterns that may be not for
Right,
your
but how do you turn sadhana into joy?
Exactly.
And not dry
that's the key.
and difficult and laborious.
Key.
Yeah,
That's the key. When you have to, and Guruji, my last statement, when we listen to some of the ballads or some of the music, even Bob Marley said it, you got to lighten up yourself.
Yeah.
You have to lighten up yourself and he knew what he was singing. That self is the capital S. Or how love ballads say, my heart is only for you. That you I usually divinize. Sometimes I'm driving in the car and the ballads are playing and I'm saying, I wonder if they ever realize they're singing to the universe, just embrace. So if at every opportunity we could be so alert rather than be bogged down with this journey, because Vivekananda said the journey is as sharp as a razor's edge.
It is. For some of us, it is.
Correct. So I really bow in reverence to all the speakers this morning and all the components that they're not mutually exclusive. They all have to come together and not see this journey as burdensome, but you frolic in it, play in it, and enjoy it at times.
I want to congratulate you for finding joy in everything.
Yes.
in your
You,
in your world. That and
definitely.
you open up your spiritual eyes to see the joy and the presence of the divine in everything, and
Correct.
seeking to bring the divinity into everything.
And it brings a sense of freedom
Yeah.
because I don't have to worry about how am I going to get through this. No, because you've given, and we're not the doer. Once I'm grounded in that I'm not the doer, it has lightened a whole heap of things that I would have gone through
Yeah.
because I am one for detail,
Yeah.
And she's doing it and putting all the right components in front of your stage so that you'll to see, let me see how you go through this with me.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much, and thank you for you. You are the main. You are the main. Guruji, you know how many lives I must have gone through before I could arrive at having a Sadguru almost for myself one-on-one. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work that had to have been done. And therefore, I just raise my hands and say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Thank
I
you
have
so
earned
much.
this. I have
Yeah.
earned this.
Yes,
Thank you.
you have. Yeah. So let's continue the conversation. Remember, you can share your comments with me, you can ask questions, so feel free.
Hello?
Yeah, Ingrid.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
I was really thrilled by Mara's little workshop because she did a lot in 3/4 of an hour. She talked about that health issues are related to emotional issues, which we know, and that you can specify them more depending on which part of the body they occur, and you can make a connection to the type of emotional trauma. I thought this is very interesting for coaches or people who do things with healing. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to her course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Daniji, how did your group go?
Namaskar, Guruji. Namaskar, everyone. I hope good. I have some.
Did you get some nice questions? Was there good
Yes,
conversation?
beautiful, but you know me, when I'm engaged in talking, it's hard to stop me. And now I'm thinking myself, I'm sure that everyone, I didn't ask everyone if they need
No, but
something.
if you were speaking, and if there was so much joy in speaking, it means that they were listening
Yes,
and they were
listen.
receiving.
Maybe I didn't answer to all the questions because I only talk with 2 or 3 star members. But my greatest joy was that I had an international group. So I have people from all the places.
But I'm happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
But it felt good, didn't it? It felt expansive, and you saw happy faces listening to you.
Yes, and I hope I was my talk. I don't give advices. I'm not so smart to give advices, but I'm speaking from my own experience and from what I'm reading, and I hope that I give everyone that need. They take
I'm sure.
what they need.
I'm sure you heighten their awareness. Thank you. But I love your spirit of joy.
Thank you. You know me.
Yeah.
I will ever be your little girl. So no.
Yeah. Thank you. And you are the first one to experience all the things you are teaching.
Yes, everything. I said to everyone, if I recommend you to do an enema, believe me, I know what it means.
Absolutely.
Yes? Or to drink a juice, I know what it means. I never say to someone, do this or that. because I know that's why I have all these courses and all these specializations, because I do it on myself, and I know what it means to do this.
For sure. I'm sure you would have inspired them. And Dr. Bhavani, how was your group? How was it for you? Yeah, how was your group? How was it for you? How did you receive?
Very encouraging. I'm listening, but I was taken up with some things. We had a wonderful group. It was really, really beautiful, and there was so much sharing in that, and so many questions. And I'm praying that I was able to be that instrument to help everyone. But some of the things we discussed, I made a couple of notes because I'm taken up with some other stuff. We discussed things like superfoods and intuition and nutrition, imbalances and how we deal with these, consciousness in our daily life, how it affects all parts of our well-being, how to be aware when we communicate with our world, of our energy field, not just the physical body, but how do we, stay grounded and hold our energy field strong, and food as sadhana, and things like that. So it was very interesting and exciting, and it was wonderful, Gurji. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm sure people would have been inspired and well informed by what you presented to them. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for giving us your time today. I know you've been busy, but I deeply appreciate that. And people know that you're a resource that they can tap into, and I hope that the people in Blue Star will tap into the resource of Dr. Bhavani. She offers so willingly and also so joyfully. So thank you so much. Mara, would you like to share a little bit of how your group was and how they related to what you were saying?
Thank you so much. Yes, we had a quite a full group. I was surprised. We had to put up a lot of chairs, and there were people online as well. So thank you for your interest. And we were talking about what people have experienced themselves, and well, if they had recognized the relationship between trauma and their bodies, and what they had done to work with that. And so we had a couple of really nice questions, and I hope I could share something about, a little bit about the German New Medicine as a basis to access that. And also there was a nice question about how do you go about when you try to be the instrument in working with people. And yeah, so the somatic experiencing came up, and how do we address that? And it's very simple. And when we get to know the simplicity of it, and we are more in touch with the sensitivity of the body, and we can make the connection and also be very well, have faith in the restorative programs that are going on, because we have so much bad news considering health issues. And it's mostly healing that is taking place, and it's really nice and beautiful if we can look at it that way.
Yeah, thank you so much. Krishna Priya? How was your group?
Namaskar. My group was quite small, but it was enjoyable because I engage in practices. As I consider this what they needed the most, those that were coming, and I didn't need to give more information. They might have had it during the years, but they were just looking forward to tap more into those practices they can miss, and they can have more tools to rebalance themselves. In the group, I discover some participants that even though they know so much information and they have so much knowledge and practices around, they still not necessarily able to rejuvenate and balance their systems. And that for me, it's always a question and an alarm. Do we need more information, more practices, or are we able to really tap into our own innate wisdom of our body and not needing to know too much, but really stay with the practices and make that shift in every moment wherever we are. Because sometimes we might hear, I love to do the nature, I go so much into the nature, and I ask, did that help you entirely, or you're still in balance in some parts of your journey? And the word imbalance is when they recognize they need a group of energy, of people that are doing that kind of practices that are able to reshift and to help them with. So for me, it was also explorative to understand how others are engaging in this, and I enjoy practice. As immediately I attune to the chi field, it's a magic happening. I don't need to know anything. It's just coming and it's balancing. So thank you for opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Krishna Priya. And Sridevi?
Namaskar. Yeah, our group was small but sweet. We had quite a few yoga practitioners actually in the group, so it was nice to hear from them. And to talk a little bit about what happens to our relationship with the body after meeting the master and some of the things that we go through. Also, the way that we prepare the body, the way that we prepare our spaces in which the body's resting, and of course, the practices that inspire us the most. And we ran out of time a little bit to do some more of the practices, but of course that's an invitation, obviously, to continue to do more practices together, but it was really sweet. And one thing or two things that really stood out. One is how to attune our practice for the higher energies, so more love and compassion with the body, less might. And the other is looking at the similarities between all of the disciplines in yoga, and of course through you and Maha Yoga as well, and looking at the beauty of that in everything that we've explored today. So it was really nice, and of course it invites a deeper conversation, and of course an opportunity for more practices together too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so what I would like to do in the remaining time we have is to do a healing meditation, meditation for well-being as well. And if our Reiki practitioners who are here feel up to it, you can also share some of the Reiki energies in the space, right? But if you feel like you need to be nourished, then of course you can stay. So it's up to you. So yeah, I see we have two hands up. So let me take these quickly. Catchland, Ireland.
Yes, namaskar. Yeah, I was in Diana's group, and I was just so inspired by everything she said. I was very happy to be a very active listener, as I was earlier on with her and all the speakers. And just some of the things she said, just made so much sense, and helping us how to, for example, if we feel hungry, the importance of chewing, where to eat, where not to eat, and things like that. And then not such a big need for protein. And I suppose it was a fountain of information from beginning to end. Oh, and water. The way she talked about water. And if when people don't take enough water, it's like why people get so many wrinkles. And it was just such a gem, and I thank you so much. I can't wait to learn more from her, because I think, as you say, the joy and the energy that radiates from her is you remember that when you want to put something into practice.
Yes.
As we do with you, Gurji, when we look at you and listen to you, you remember the essence of the delivery and the information. When you talked about teaching yesterday, it's all connected. So, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Joanna?
Namaskar, everyone. Can you hear me?
Namaskar. Yeah, we do.
Namaskar. I was really inspired by Mara's presentation because I'm also a psychotherapist. And I just wanted to kind of add to what she was explaining that there is something called the polyvagal theory, and it's based on the vagus nerve. And the fascinating thing about it is that it turns out that the way, this is a theory obviously, but the way our nervous system has evolved has to do with different states that match the gunas. So there's a tama state, and where our nervous system is in immobilization, and then there's the raja state in which our nervous system is in mobilization, and then there's the sattvic state, which our nervous system is in safety, is in safe and connected. And it's also about being connected to their own bodies, our environment, and also to the people around us. So yeah, this is, and the nerve, this vagus nerve actually is not, before we used to think that a lot had to do with the brain, or most of it, but it's actually this particular nerve. It embraces most of our organs. So then we can very much see the connection between the nervous system, the brain, and the body. Yeah, so for me, that was really fascinating, and I'm very grateful. I would like to participate in the workshop. I'm not sure if it's open to people who are online. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that together with Blue Star Canada, we have a couple of projects that we've been working on, and this is one of the projects we've been working on kind of comparing or looking at the similarities between this polyvagal theory and the gunas and Mahayoga. So I wanted to kind of open it to the wider community. If there's interest, perhaps you could share at a later date. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you can do some of that tomorrow with us.
Well, tomorrow I prepared a different presentation on Blue Star as a global organization. If I thought that would be more suitable, kind of following up from David's presentation, because I felt like my understanding was that some of what he was talking about perhaps needed some explanation on slides. So I prepared a presentation on that, but yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
But thank you so much, and it's such a joy to see you in this space.
Thank you.
Yeah, Adi, you want to say anything? You've listened to everyone today.
Namaskar, everyone. No, it's a joy to see the different perspectives, and whether it's with Auntie Krishna Priya talking about chi and the more intuitive nature of our interaction with our body and our energy body, or with Dr. Bhavani, lovingly I refer to as Dr. B.
Yeah.
And having that attention, right? And putting that attention and intention into making sure nutrition and being receptive to what the body is saying when it is in an unwell phase. That much like the spiritual journey, it's not about either one or being correct. It's both being in harmony together. You have to be intuitive and attentive at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you, son. Yeah, I hope that you all consider the body is a gift. In every lifetime, the body is a gift. And the saying is, if you try to take care of it in this life, you'll come with a better version of it in the next. So if you develop good habits, then you will earn a better body in your next life. And if you have in your template of where you'd want to be, and it doesn't happen in this life, it will certainly happen in the next. But in this life, you should make every effort to make your body your friend and to really appreciate it and to bring out the best from it. That's what I try to do. And of course, no matter what your body type is, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, you should really be proud of your body. And the main thing in the Ayurveda is to bring all the doshas into balance. Whether you're Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, you bring all the doshas into balance. And that's the more important thing. I'm sure we'll do more of these workshops in the future. I'm looking forward to it. And but I'm very happy that you are interested in being well and staying well. During the COVID time, we did a number of programs on that, be well, stay well. So I'm looking forward in the future. Sri Devi is nodding her head. She's in the coordinator of the wellness. So I'm sure we'll have much more of that. Krishna Priya, Dr. Bhavani, Dr. Uluka, we'll spend more time in that in the year to come. So next year is a year for me of focusing on well-being. And I'm totally enjoying that 100%. And I would like to do more of these programs, Mara as well. I'd like to do more of these programs, Lakshmi as well, yeah, all of you. You want to say something? Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of these programs in the future. Go ahead.
Namaskar Guruji,
Namaskar.
Namaskar everyone. So I have to say that I get emotional because I have a big thank you for you and and for all your guidance in my healing journey. So the fact that today I'm doing what I'm doing is because you
yeah, and you have done so well in that same, how you call it, family therapy?
Yes.
It's beautiful what you do. I've seen you bring people together, sharing their stories, and you make such a difference.
So you keep my hand all the way, so I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you, and thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
And she spent extended time in India as well, but what she does is amazing, and I hope that you can do some of that whilst you're here. After my birthday, which is coming up in a few days, but after that, I'm sure we'll be happy to have you in wellness and to continue. So just speak to Sri Devi. Last time you were here, a lot of people really benefited from your work, and we would like to have that happen again. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I was saying that thinking of the body as a gift, I do that every day. I appreciate it so much. It's my best pet. Of course, I have my dogs, but this is and cat. But this is the best pet, my body, because I'm constantly with it 24/7. And it's a joy to see how I can live in an animal body and take care of it in the best possible way and learn how to live in harmony with it. I'm telling you, the body is different to us, and we need to learn how to live in harmony with this physical creature. We're not going to be in this forever. It's aging, but we have to learn to appreciate it at every decade of our life. We need to appreciate it and see the beauty and grace of the human process of birth, of youth, of adult, of seniors, and of course, seeing the end. And I hope and I wish for every one of you that you can leave this planet when you do, totally fulfilled and happy to go. Here is not a place to stay. It's a place that we have to go, but you must be happy to go. You're very happy to go. And that can only happen when you live, if you fulfill your purpose, and you know it's time to leave, and you can live the yogic way. And you can live with a happy heart and a long health span, so the body doesn't shut down. It must take its last beat. The heart must take its last beat, or the lungs must take its last breath, and you live peacefully. Yeah, I wish that for all of you. All of us. Yeah, so let's go into our meditation, our last meditation. And this one is based on well-being. So let's sit in a comfortable posture. Centering in the mental space. Center the ego in the mental space. In the mode of witnessing. And clear the mind of thoughts you don't need. You don't need to think in this. Thoughts are not required. Understanding is required. Clear the mind of thoughts, and let's come into an intuitive mental space. And let's come into breath awareness. This is extremely important. Just breathing out slowly, consciously, completely, and breathing in slowly and deeply and consciously. Stay with that regulated breath, that pranayama, which is breath regulation. Listen to the beautiful sound of Ujjayi as you contract the glottis, the throat. Until you feel that your entire being relaxes. If you can feel the currents of prana, anapana, just follow that. Prana is the current that moves the in-breath, apana, the out-breath. And pause. Pause at the end of the out-breath, and pause at the end of the in-breath. And those pauses will happen in an effortless way when we follow prana, apana. The energies behind breathing in and breathing out. The pauses will happen naturally. And don't breathe in until the body informs you, urges you to breathe in. And don't breathe out until you feel the body wants you to breathe out. So you're following body's intelligence. Breathe with spinal column awareness. Open up the belly to breathe as you stay in the lower area. Open up the chest to breathe as you come up higher. Open up the shoulders to breathe as you go further. And begin to observe the Manas chakra, which is this beautiful energy pull at the eyebrows, and the Muladhara at the perineum area. Become aware of them. Those are the two polar points. Energetically, along the spine and the brainstem. So the medulla is connected to the Manas chakra and the breathing. As you breathe out, focus on the front of the body, the plexuses, and as you breathe in, along the spinal column. So in that way there's an orbit. Now if you begin to just witness, you'll feel the silence of the space, the peacefulness of the space. And to feel the beauty of nourishment in the space, just open the heart to love. As you breathe into the chest area, open the heart to love. And as you breathe out, spread that love to every chakra, every plexus, every cell, and to the space around you. Is there joy in the breathing? Do you really enjoy the life force that is in the breath? Again, push your breath out gently and pull the breath in. If a mantra comes to mind, let it resonate in the mind. Now hold total body awareness so you can feel your gross body in the mental space. You're holding it in the mental space. If there's any tiredness in any of you, just open the belly to breathe until the tiredness goes away. And if there's too much heat in the head, just go down to the root and hold the root firmly as you breathe. Stay conscious of the whole process. Joyful breathing. Loving being. Vital core, energizing. Beautiful grounding at the root. And you're holding your body with great appreciation. For the gift that nature has given to you. be so loving that you're renewed in every breath. And there is joy of taking the next breath. And acknowledge the connection you have with the field. So many of us are together. Acknowledge the connection of the one field. As you listen to the breath, you can almost hear the so hum. So in the in breath, hum in the out breath. It means God and I are one. The universe and I are one. Now slowly come back into body awareness. Bring more oxygen into your lungs. Gently and gradually, consciously, until you feel your brain is clearer and your senses are more energized and alert. Open the belly to expand the breath. Until you feel more aliveness in the whole body. And here we'll do the Sahanavavatu mantra, mantra of togetherness, with a lot of gratitude in our hearts to the masters and to everyone else. So take a good breath into the belly after breathing out. Relax. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we achieve strength together. May our knowledge be full of light. May we remain united beyond differences. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for another exciting day. I've been enjoying these retreats immensely because I can be with you. I can have conversations with you. And then we can have all the voices speak. It's extremely exciting for me. And today is the day 6, tomorrow is day 7. Like I said, because it's Sunday, I will just do one session. We don't need two. I'll just do one session where we can all speak together as to unity consciousness, as to a new social consciousness where we can feel and experience the self in each other. That's the goal of the Blue Star, to see the one in the all and the all in the one. And to feel it, to experience it, because in so doing, we will help to co-create the future world, a better world than the one today. Just through love, just through our selfless nature, just by sharing wisdom, sharing love, sharing compassion, sharing kindness. We need to be our brother's keeper and sister's keeper. We need to do it. We need to take care of the young ones, guide them, and we need to take care of the older ones as well for the contributions they have made to society. We need to do that. So let's develop a greater social consciousness. We need to take care of our world, all the living species. We need to live in harmony with nature, support the ecology of nature. We need to do that. We are guardians of the planet. We need to take that responsibility. So tomorrow we talk about doing that together. And of course, how can we continue that desire to have beautiful spaces across our world, like Vrindavan, that we are creating? How can we create more of that? Perhaps one in Romania, perhaps one in Hungary, perhaps one in Holland, one in Canada. How can we do it? How can we do it? Yeah? So let's see what tomorrow brings. It's it's the universe at work. Let's see how the universe will speak through all of us tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll have a crowning session at the end of the retreat. It's been tremendous being with you. And next week we celebrate the 70th birthday of this body being on the planet. But more importantly for me is the work I've done with Blue Star and in Blue Star and for Blue Star. That's my celebration. That's my purpose, and it's my joy. So thank you everyone for being a part of this mission. for being a part of Blue Star. We celebrate that tomorrow. And then at the 70th anniversary of this body. So thank you very much. I bid you goodbye, but know that I'm always with you, and I know that you're always with me. I know that you remember me, you remember my words, you remember my presence, and I know that. And I want you to know that I'm with you as well. Okay? So have a blessed day, everyone. We look forward to day 7. You know, 7 is a sacred number, right? So we look forward to day 7. Thank you very much, everybody. Namaskar. Oh, by the way, we have Guru Gita in the morning. I decided to stream it. And we have the Shiva Mahimna tonight for those of you who may want to join. So I just want you to know. Namaskar.